All right, I think we are live here. Let me get my camera going. I'm floating in the middle of the screen here. I'm doing way too much stuff. There we go. Um, we are live. I'm here to talk about the uh ASTS Presage um instrument. And this will be an instrument that is ideal for the horror trailer, horror vibes, um, that type of thing. So I haven't opened the plugin yet. I've watched the trailer of the plugin, and then I've listened to some of the um, previews on the website ASTS. Shout out to ASTS. This is also an episode of Syncrets To Success, the podcast that I have here on YouTube and hopefully to other places soon. This podcast focuses on aspects of sync licensing and trailer music, and I use ASTS plugins for a lot of stuff in the trailer space, especially for the horror trailer vibes. We are in, at the time of this recording, we are in March, which is a perfect time to be working on Halloween music because in the sync and trailer world, typically you are 6 months out from the projects you should be working on. So in March, I am working on the trailers for Halloween and stuff. We'll start getting into Christmas around, April, May, June-ish. You'll be doing some holiday music. I've actually done a couple of holiday tracks already. So yeah, locked in on those vibes. So I'm just going to open up the plugin for the first time here on Logic. I use Logic Pro. What I normally do is I have Contact 7 here. This is the ASTS first Contact instrument. Actually, I'm going to open up Contact, and this is their first Contact instruments. Their other instruments have been in the more WAV file, you get the audio file type thing. I don't believe ASTS is currently integrated into Contact where it will show up in the left rack side, but I will show you how I use my instruments in Logic Pro so that I save them as presets. And let me open up this is the folder when you purchase, I don't know how you say it, Presage, but it's the boutique horror instrument. So I'm gonna open up the instruments here, and I'm gonna, as you can see, we have 13 instruments. I could just load them all up, which I might do. Let's see what happens. That might take a little bit of time. If you have any questions, if you're watching live, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. But and if you have any questions, also drop them in the comments after. So I have 13 instruments here. Let's see if they all loaded up. I don't want to close that yet. We're gonna see if we can close out the side pane. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We are good to go. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to start with this first one, which is blank. So I believe we can, and I know nothing about the instrument. So let's see what happens if I play something. Let me hit record. I'm not hearing anything there. So I might have to, I wonder if the blank one is where you can bring in WAV files and samples and things. I don't know, so don't quote me on that. So let's jump to the second one, which is slams. And it would help if I have... Oh, let me go up to, actually, I'm on the wrong one. Slams here. And hopefully you can hear that. So as you can see, the keys are, I like the colors. Like I rarely see, I can't think of a plugin where I've seen the black keys and the white keys inverted like this for a Contact instrument. So I like that. I'm just gonna play a couple of sounds. I can't play all the sounds because I understand the hustle. And just a little bit about the plugin. From what I understand, we have Trepid here. Let's see what this does. So with Trepid, I'm hearing a little bit more. Let me see if I can find a shorter sound. Actually, I played way more sounds than I should have played. But Trepid sounds like it's doing a little bit of distortion, adding some saturation type things in there. And I could be way off. It also seems like it's bringing up the volume a little bit. That could be from the saturation distortion. Space, that's a name that we should be familiar with. That is like reverb. So I have the mix all the way down. You see down here in the middle, if you see my mouse here, where the volume of the different knobs are. So for this one, not necessarily volume, but this is at level 100 for Trepid, or down to 0. With Space, we have this down to infinity, negative infinity. We can go all the way up to 24 dB. So this would be like our reverb. You can hear when I turn that up. You also have pre-delay. You can adjust the size, the color of the space. And then how much it is dampened. Then below that, we have envelope. So if you're familiar with ADSR, that is attack, decay, sustain, release. So if I bring all this down, actually bring that down to 0, bring that down to negative infinity, you hear nothing. I'm hitting, as you can see, I'm hitting this G1. You're hearing nothing. Let's bring up the decay. You start hearing it. So you can really shape these sounds, and you can have almost limitless possibilities with each individual sound. Then we have sustain. And finally release. So when I let go of the key, it holds out even longer. So you can really sculpt the sound that you want and shape it depending on the track you're working on. I can adjust the attack so it fades in more. You can use it more of like sound design effects. Then we have Frenzy. I have no idea what Frenzy does. Let's turn this up. It sounds like a great, let's turn this up here. Let's bring Frenzy mix up here. So I'm hearing like phasing, flanging type things. Which also could be great in the horror space. And then Fever, I believe Fever is more saturation. But let's see. Yeah, definitely more saturation with Fever. Maybe even a little distortion. Screamer, I believe, is distortion also. We're going to turn this on. Let's bring up the drive. You clearly hear the distortion there. You can adjust the tone, which almost is like an EQ, but you also have bass and bright, which could be more EQ. So if we tone, almost seems like almost like a tilt EQ here with tone. With bass, you hear the bass going up. With brightness, you can make it darker or brighter. I'm really going fast reviewing this plugin because I want to get through all the other sound, or the other 12 instruments that we have. And then we have a filter built in. Again, you can use some sort of filter options, adjusting the tone and things like that, but you also have a built-in filter. So let's, we have low pass, high pass, and band pass. Let's adjust the cutoff and resonance. Let's go high pass and band pass. So I really like the plugin. I like the design. Not a lot. There's a lot of knobs and options there, but there's not like a bunch of pages you have to sift through. And typically the way I use things like this is I just find an instrument and just move forward from that. So you've had enough of the slams. We're going to go down to the bowed wood and cymbals. Let's go here. Let's see if we can view the keys that I can play. That sounds like a scream. And if I control click here or right click, I can do some automation. So let's say I wanted to learn automation and I have a modulation wheel, or I can do I have a volume expression pedal where I can do my foot like this. So I can play. That sounds like an animal. I will play one more here. I like that. Sounds like a horn. Or like a bullhorn. Let's go to, again, this is just a quick overview because I'm definitely going to add this to my horror template. I have a horror template that I use. Let's go to bell triggers tick-tocks. If you are familiar with the horror space or trailers in general, tick-tocks are almost like a staple. They're almost a cliche, but I can never have too many. Clocks and tick-tocks and noises like that. So that's like a, and let me make sure I automate this thing. Yep, I'm not going to play too many of those because those are great. And something like that to make it really creepy. Just mangle the world out of it. So basically, this is just sound design with the instruments built in and using the different knobs and options. something like that, what I would do is either I would record automation, like let's say I want every other one to be a little different. I would record one like this, and then one like this. So essentially it's the same sound, but it has a little bit of variation to it, and it just adds to that creepy horror vibe. That is TikToks. Again, I'm not going to play through all the sounds. I'm playing way too many already, so ASTS, don't kill me. But you definitely want to purchase the instrument and check it out for yourself and use it how you want to use it. We're going to go to Dark Victrola Atmos Drones. So this, in my head, I'm thinking drones, pads, atmospheric sounds, obviously. So let's play... let's see if this is one drone or if I should be playing a chord. It's definitely Atmos. It's more like I would equate it to Foley almost. Yeah, I like it. That's dope. And of course, in my mind, I'm like hearing stuff like, oh man, I need to like start working with this right now. Again, I haven't opened these instruments yet. So that was Victrola. Let me see. Yep. So we're gonna go to Ghost bows or bows. I'm gonna go with bows, and it's atonal. So if you don't know what atonal means, that basically means that there is no tone. Atonal, non-tonal. Let's see. Even though I almost do hear a note there, but I know what they mean when they say atonal. You can almost force it into a tone. I will play one more. Yeah, that is... That's dope. That could be like a great intro to a track. Next, we're going to go to another clock. So remember I mentioned in the TikToks that clocks are a staple in sort of the horror cinematic world. So we're going to go to this cuckoo clock here and check out this sound. Let me figure out. There we go. That could almost be like a signature sound in a track. I played it way too much for it to be a signature sound, but if it comes in every once in a while in like a horror type vibe, yeah, sounds incredible. There, let me see if I can find one more for you. Ooh. So what I would do with that is I would start maybe automating a volume like this. And then fade it in. Almost like a riser, but you can do so much with these sounds. That is Cuckoo Clock. Let's go down to Horror Dry Scapes. Horror Dry Scrapes with an R. Yep, and of course, to make it even more scarier. Again, that to me sounds like another signature sound. So you can use these sounds to create a signature sound for a track and just have that be that signature element that you know, hasn't been heard before. And then you can tweak accordingly as you want. What I wouldn't mind, friends at ASTS, is a random button, like a dice knob, that will just randomize all these knobs and options here, and I can just click that to my heart's content, and it'll just randomize things, and now I'll create a custom, you know, sound using the preset. So I wouldn't mind something like that. Again, not hit or miss, because I'm tweaking the knobs like however I want right now. But if I had a random button, that's usually, I would just be clicking that and be like, okay, we got a sound here, and then start from there. All right, not giving you too many of those. Next, we have Horror Sprite Scrapes. I don't know if this is in relation to the Sprite brand. Probably not. Again, perfect, like eerie sound. Yeah, it's basically everything you need for a horror type vibe. We have horror wraith scrapes. Let's play some of those. Almost like a breath type sound. Then we have Paranoia Stings atonal. Of course, we can mangle some of those sounds. Can make it sound like staticky, distorted type. I'm gonna go to typewriter mechanics down here. Let's see what this sounds like. So with this, I would add like space. I would almost use it like a TikTok. Then we have, last but not least, the, I'll play one more sound from the typewriter. Let's turn this stuff down. Yeah, so many options here. And then last but not least, we have the needle. I'm gonna hit solo here, Victrola needle. That might blow your ears away. That's So again, this is perfect for sound design type stuff. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna save this ASTS Presage Boutique Horror Instrument. And actually, I don't even know if I have to put ASTS there, but what I do is in Logic is I save these as presets. So I'm going to save this as a preset, and I'm going to create a folder here for ASTS. Again, this is their first contact instrument, so I don't have a folder made for it yet, but now I do, and now it is there. So whenever I need to, let's say I wanted to, I can duplicate the track, but if I'm starting like a new session, I can go here, I can go to my user patches, I can look for ASTS, and I can load that up, and it will load up that contact instrument, and I can start playing. It'll load up all 13 instruments there, so I can save it as preset. The other option is if you use contact, you can go to the, what is it? Quick load, and you can save it as a quick load at the bottom here. So I can save the instrument, I can drag the NKI over here. I don't usually use quick load. I usually like the, because I mostly produce in Logic, so I usually just default to the Logic, saving the preset in Logic. But you can drag the NKI over here, and you can have your own folder structure down here, similar to, let me raise this up a little bit, similar to how you would do a folder structure like on your computer. The good thing about quick load is if you do use, I believe if you use other instruments, the quick load will save within the contact instrument itself. So if you open contact in another DAW, if you use other DAWs, I believe it'll open up the quick load access in those other DAWs. But I only mainly use Logic, so just saving the Logic presets works for me. As you can see, I have some other presets here. But ASTS, shout out to them for the Presage Boutique Horror Instruments. I will include the link to where you can check it out in the description. And also, if you use the code Syncrets To Success, so Syncrets with the S, SYNCRETS TOSUCCESS, Syncrets To Success, you can get up to 20% off of this plugin and other sounds from the ASTS website. Again, shout out to ASTS. This is a great time to be getting into the horror cinematic or making horror Halloween music, and you can use this plugin for that because, like I said, we're in that 6-month outlook for the sync and trailer space. So check that out. When you are looking at these counters, when you're creating your music for sync and trailers, you want to find unique sounds like the Presage, or I don't know how to say it, Presage, boutique choreo instrument. You want to figure out how you can incorporate those into the music that you are creating and make it your own, make it unique. You can tweak the sounds, you can add effects, you can add the effects within the plugin, but you can also add your own effects and make it really, really customizable. So there you go. That is all I have for you today. Be on the lookout. I might try to do some more videos today, so I might try to knock some more out. But shout out to ASTS. Again, this episode was sponsored by ASTS, and they do sponsor the podcast, and they release some great instruments. So you can check any episode and look in the description for the discount code to use on their products and sounds and plugins. And also, they did provide this at no charge. So happy to continue to use their stuff and my stuff. And yeah, they make some great sounds. So check out ASTS. The whole team over there is great. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video here on YouTube. I'll be doing some more reviews. Check out some previous reviews. Drop in the comments if you want to see reviews of any particular instruments or how I create some things. I'm also working on some workshops. Check out the website, thefingaz.com, for services and sample packs that I offer on my site, dafingaz.com. And finally, check out my Facebook group, Syncrets To Success. If you are interested in sync licensing, trailer music, you want to talk all things music business, networking, Syncrets To Success on Facebook. I believe that information will also be in the description, so check that out. I will see you in the next video.